Oh, I did the thing! I did the
Wait.
thing!
Oh my god. Oh my
Bomb
god.
support, bomb support, bomb support.
He's riffing it in the backline. What the hell?
As you can see, I was a Black Panther main in Season 2.0, and certainly not by choice. I play Iron Fist. I love him to death. As I said in my latest video, he got banned in 13 out of 16 games in a row. That is genuinely a ridiculous amount and means I couldn't even call him my main at that point, even though I pick him every time I could. Even if he wasn't strong, I'd want him nerfed just so I'd be allowed to play him. And the monkey's paw curled. Iron Fist needed nerfs, but not like this. Let me explain to you exactly what I mean. I absolutely think he was strong, and the rival stat side seems to think the same, with him having a very high win rate with a decent pick rate. The thing is, I already thought he was strong before, all the way back in Season 1. People just slept on him because they only looked at the nerf to damaging squishies and not all the massive survivability buffs on the side. I was having a great time, even managing to get to Eternity without losing a single game with a 100% win rate by basically only playing Iron Fist. It was a lot of fun. So these buffs in Season 2 just completely tipped him over the edge. People were willing to try him again, and it turns out buffing an already good hero just makes them overpowered. So I wanted nerfs, other fisters wanted nerfs, we just want to be able to feed in peace. One thing irks me though, and that's that these nerfs target higher skill Iron Fists more than lower skill. So let's go through the changes one by one and talk about why I think they were a good or a bad choice, along with alternative nerfs that I think would be a better fit. Let's start with change number 1 out of 5. Lower the dragon's defense damage blocked bonus self conversion from 1.5 to 1.3. What this means is that when you block 100 damage, instead of getting 150 health, you're getting 130 health. I think this is pretty reasonable. I think the most skillful usage of block is to avoid important abilities like stuns or ultimates and deciding on whether it's worth using it to get flurry instead of using it to block important abilities. I think his numbers are just too high currently, so a straight nerf like this is what I want to see. Although I think I'd prefer just a flat nerf to his base health, or his overshield from meditate or his passive, as there's basically no thought in the health you get from those abilities at all. Blocking when you think a lot of people will shoot you is at least an active choice. And you know what else is an active choice? Subscribing to me, ayo, I got the plugin! Change number 2. Decrease the maximum bonus self converted from damage blocked from 200 to 175. Yeah, fair enough. Honestly, you could nerf it more if you wanted. I think the shields gained is the least interesting part of the ability. Same counts as for the first change. I'd still rather they nerf his base health, passive shields or meditate shields for the same reason. Change number 3. Slightly decrease the dash distance of, forgive my pronunciation, Yad Yi Chung Quen in the Z-axis direction when there is no target. Which is his flurry, by the way. So for people who don't know, when Iron Fist is using flurry, the empowered punches after blocking, the way he attacks changes. He can not only dash to targets in 11 meters range now, but he can also dash 3 meters about every second, even if he's not looking at any enemy. What I mean by Z-axis is simply going up or down, so this nerf is saying he can't dash as high up or down as much as before. Although we don't know yet by how much, right? This is one of my big pain points. I think one of the major differences between a good and bad Iron Fist is knowing how to stay alive while being effective in fights. Focus on one person and you'll do the most damage, but you'll also leave yourself open to being really easy to hit and kill. This is what I see bad Iron Fists usually do and get away with in low elo. But good Iron Fists integrate dashing to other people, or with the flurry, dashing over or under or to the side of people to make it really hard for people to hit you. So I think this direction of nerfing him, even if it turns out to not be a big deal, will just hurt good Iron Fists while not really changing anything for the bad Iron Fists. If they think his mobility is an issue, an alternative nerf I'd think of would be to just revert the kick cooldown back to 12 seconds from 10. Change number 4. Reduce Dragon's defense cooldown reduction from Jeet Kune Do hits from 1.5 seconds to 1 second. So when Iron Fist isn't in flurry mode, his normal attacks will reduce the cooldown of block. When a good Iron Fist is fighting, he keeps swapping targets in order to dodge shots and regain his block cooldown faster. Then he can block some shots, get some health back, and fight with Flurry for a bit until he has to get out or try to farm his block again. While a bad Iron Fist would just either fully focus on one person and just die before he gets blocked because he's easy to hit, or flee from the fight altogether, never being able to get his block back quicker. So I think once again, this block nerf will target high elo Iron Fist way more than low elo Iron Fist. And now the final change. Decreased Atlas Bond team up anchor damage boost proportion from 15% to 10%. This is a bonus he has had the entire time from season 0 to now. But he's been dealing 115% this entire time, which now goes down to 110%. This straight up nerfs his punches, his flurry and his kick. Now I don't mind this nerf as much since I do think his numbers are too high in general, but it didn't really feel like his flurry damage was that much on squishies nowadays anyway. I feel like the only outlier was him being able to just shred tanks now. So why not just lower the max health damage while keeping his damage on squishies intact? So basically reverting the last change. Don't particularly mind this nerf though, as it hits everyone equally instead of specifically high elo Iron Fist. So what do I actually think they should do with Iron Fist? Let's sum it all up here. They nerfed some damage and survivability numbers, which I think is the correct way to go here. But then they also nerfed things that specifically screw over better Iron Fist while not changing much about low Iron Fist gameplay. And I do want to say, if that is what the devs intended, if they thought he needed nerfs more in high elo than low elo, fair enough, they made it happen. But obviously, as a biased fister who would rather have him be good in high elo, I'd rather make sure skill expression gets rewarded more. It also seems like poke is gonna be meta in a big way, so even if untouched, I could see him not being played much if at all. I was already seeing basically no dive when fighting for top 8 in the EMEA, Marvel Rivals Ignite tournament, except my bum trying to force Iron Fist into like hella Bucky Torch. Pain. My hope would be to just have a full revert to season 1, and if that still makes it too strong, I would shave off some base, meditate or passive health really. If you guys have any other ideas on how to make a skill expressive but fair Iron Fist, let me know. I'll be forcing Iron Fist anyway, cause he's so fun to play. Big thanks for the devs for the frequent updates. Can't wait to see what's next. Have a good one guys. Bye bye.